Hello, it's Crafty Carol here again from Northern Ireland with another little project for you. Now this is not my project, I've copied it off the wonderful Tami White, and she had it as part of her 12 Days of Christmas cards, I think it was. And it's just a lovely little card, and it's got a belly band on it, so we'll just slide that off and I can show you the actual card. So there's the belly band with a sort of gift tag on it. Decorate the envelope obviously, and this is the card. Oh look, she's called it a box fold card. I'm not sure, flat fold box card, because it does turn out like a box, and it would sort of be a box if you'd folded those over that way, I suppose. But it just means you can put a voucher or a gift card in it, but it's just an unusual fold and I really liked it. So this is what we're going to make today. I'm going to make it in the same colours because I just adore this Season of Green and Elegance DSP. Oh, and I forgot to show you the back, but on the back you can write, put any sort of greeting you want on the back there as well. Need my little ribbons to stand up. That's better. Good. Okay, so what do you need to make this card? So you'll notice if I hold it up to the envelope, it does fit beautifully in our normal envelopes. It's shorter than our normal card, but to make it the full length, I would have needed 12 by 12 cardstock, which I know not everybody has, and certainly not in the colours. So because I've gone for Mossy Meadow cardstock, I've stuck to the original measurements, which are actually in inches for the letter-sized papers, but I will give you the metric measurements, and the main piece is 25.5. I have to write these down so I don't forget them myself. So that's 25.5 or 8.5 inches, 25.5 centimetres by 21 centimetres. So it is our normal width of A4, just with a bit chopped off the end. You want to keep the bit chopped off the end because, if I get some of these other bits out and I'll show you, you can use the bit chopped off the end to cut some leaves, some ferns, and that's from the Golden Greenery set with dies, and I've just cut 2 of those. Then from the Greetings of the Season dies, this is this gorgeous thing. I've used the greetings from this set and also the large tag die and this smaller oval die, which I used last week in a card, or earlier this week in a card. So I've cut those out, so I've got those all ready as well. So what else do you need? Let's move my envelope to one side. We need a piece of DSP. This is for the inside panel, and this is 7 by 12.5 centimetres. You also need the same size piece in Very Vanilla, or whichever coordinating colour you want to use. This matches, vanilla matches my paper, that's why I've gone for that rather than white. Same size piece, 7 by 12.5, and that's for the back for our sentiment there. Then you also need 2 pieces, 3 pieces actually, but we'll come to that one in a minute. 2 pieces of Old Olive, or again another coordinating colour for your front panels, and these are 4.5 by 12.5 centimetres, 2 of those. And the DSP for the front panels, this is, let them go in the right way up so I stick them on right. These are 4 by 12 and they form the 2 front panels. I've also, from that gorgeous paper, the Season of Green and Gold, or is it Season of, I think it's called that, the suite is called that, yeah, Season of Green and Gold paper. I've cut 2 of there are sort of a pair of bells in one of the papers, and I've cut those out carefully so I haven't damaged any of these other bits, which I can cut out with my dies if I need. So I've cut my pair of bells, I've got everything ready for that. You also need a final bit of cardstock, which is going to form the belly band, and this is 3 centimetres, I think, no, 4 centimetres. Oh, I'll measure this because I forgot to write it down again. 4 by 26.5. So that one is, write it down again so I've got it, 26.5, well, actually 25.5 it should be. I'll have to trim a bit off that almost certainly when I get it, by 4 centimetres for the belly band. Okay, so I think that's all the bits. Let me go through how to make it. I'm actually going to stick some of these bits down and do some of my stamping first. So I've got stamps. I've got the fern stamp from the frond stamp, if you like, from the Golden Greenery set. Let me just bring that in so you can see it. It's this set here. So I'm using this frond. You could use this one. It doesn't really matter which. I'm using that one. Oops. I was almost nearly stamping it without meaning to. And I'm going to stamp those in Old Olive. I've got 2 ink pads with me. I've got Old Olive and I've got Mossy Meadow because they match the 2 things here. So I'm just going to put a couple of fronds of green on here. Like that. Left a bit of a gap at the top. It won't matter because, where's my cloth, my stamps? There we go. Because, oh, actually, I can keep that one out because while I'm here with this stamp, I can do my envelope. And this you can do in whichever of the greens you prefer. I think I did the other envelope in Mossy Meadow. We'll do this one in Old Olive just because we've got it out and it still matches the stamp set. So I've done my envelope, put that to one side. Then I can clean my stamp. There we go. And then we have the ink for the sentiments that I'm going to put on here. So I've got the Love and Joy from this Greetings of the Seasons set. I've used the Love and Joy Seasons Greeting, and I was going to use this one, but actually I've decided to use, there we go, To You and Yours, that one. I found it now. To You and Yours is what I've used there. So I'm going to use Love and Joy on here. Now, you can use different colours for this. I've gone just to stick with the same colours. So I'm just going to use this on the tag. Place that in the middle there. It's a really tiny block, isn't it? It'll do. And then my Seasons Greeting stamp I'm going to put on this piece. So that's all my stamping done nearly. There we go. And finally, on the piece for the back, my piece of Very Vanilla. It's going on the back. I'm going to stamp To You and Yours. There it is. Nearly lost it. But you can use whichever sentiments you want, obviously. These, oh, look at me, got ink on my finger. So I will need to use the emergency side, which is fine. We always have an emergency side. Do not stick your finger in the ink pad while you are doing stamping. So easy to do and such an easy mistake to make, and then you get ink everywhere. Silly me, just wipe it off so it won't get onto anything else, because we don't want anything else covered in any green ink that shouldn't be there. All right, let me just clear some space here and then we can get on. So to finish off making the tag, let's just do that bit first, even though we won't come to it till the end. But I'm just going to stick these 2 bits of die cut fronds over the top of these, just by using some little dabs of, if it'll come out, yeah, my liquid glue. And I'm not going all the way down here, I'm just putting it on sort of one end of it because I'm going to let the rest of it just sort of blow in the wind a bit, have a bit of, give it a little bit more shape really. So I'm just going to hold that top bit down because it's going onto still slightly wet ink probably. So there we go. And then we'll do the same with the other bit for the other side. And then to finish it off, I'm just going to use some dimensionals on the back of my bells. I think 2 will do. It's just a piece of DSP, so it's fairly light, so I don't need too many of those. Now, if you wanted, if you don't have the dies or you don't have the DSP or whatever, you've got using something different, you can always stamp these and cut them out and just put 2 on there. But they come with the bow there, which is really nice. And just to finish off the tag, using a little bit of the cherry ribbon, get my ribbon scissors. So just a little length, perhaps about 6 inches or so, or around about 15 centimetres. Oops. All my ribbon's coming off now. It doesn't want to stay on, does it? No, put it down there. Don't. So we're just going to push this through the little hole in the tag, which can be a little bit fiddly. But I find if I just squeeze up the ribbon, fold it in half, squeeze it up, I usually end up with a point, which I can get through my hole like that. And then I can open it up the other side and pass the tails through. and just gently ease it closed on itself. And there we have the tag done. Right, so I've got all my bits done. We now need to make the actual card. Well, I could do some more sticking here and stick these bits on next, because then these panels are done. While I've got that glue here, I might as well do that. So just sticking the DSP to the panels. It doesn't matter what order you do things in to make cards quite often, but there is one thing that I'm going to show you that is you need to take care of with this card, because otherwise it gets difficult. And I'll show you why in a second when I just finish these little panels. So that's the first panel. Glue on my fingers now. And my second panel for the front of the card. There. So, yes, I have got glue on my fingers. I'll just rub it off. Now I'm going to use my scoreboard. So although I've given you everything else in centimetres, and I will put the inches in the blog as well. I think in inches, this piece is 8.5 by 10 inches, I think. And the various other pieces, I will put the inch measurements in the blog as well. But when I'm doing the scoring, oh, it says me dropping something on the floor as I'm getting my scoreboard out. Don't think it was important. Oh, it was my stamparatus. Hang on a sec while I tidy that up. So I'm going to score it using the scoreboard, which means I'm going to be using inches, because I do have a metric plate, but to be honest, I do find it easier to score in inches. So we need to, it's easier to score in inches. You can do it on your trimmer, but I'm going to give you just the inch measurements because they are easier. So because this isn't quite as, this is 10 inches wide, so we're going to start on the long edge, okay, and we're going to score at 2 inches. So I'm using the little end, I prefer that end, making sure that it's butted up against the side properly, resting my scoring tool in the groove, and then just let it come down the groove. Sometimes it goes off like you saw mine do, but usually it will follow the groove right down, and that's fine. You can do that. So 2 inches is the first one, 3.5 is the second one. I don't know why I'm going off today, this is bad. It's very dark and I'm struggling a little bit with time. I need to turn it slightly. I'm trying to keep it straight to do it for you, and actually I find that difficult. I have to have it slightly to a side, and then I just find it, perhaps it's my elbow getting in the way or something. Okay, so 2, 3.5, 6.5. So again, we're just looking for the mark up here. Slide your tool into the groove, and then just, definitely having a bad day. Then just let it follow the groove down. And the final one is, and I have forgotten, let me just check my notes, 8 inches. Yeah, 8 inches. I'm definitely having a bad day for scoring, but there we go. There's my 4 main folds. Then I'm going to turn it round, and now I'm going to score it at 1.5 inches. That's better, I was following it better. And then for this one, if you're using the 8.5 US size, you're going to score at 7. Because our card is only 8.25 inches wide, I need to score it at 6.75. In other words, you've got 1.5 inches either end. So this gives me 6.75 is what you want for our size cardstock. Okay. So dare I put this back on here without knocking my stamparatus off again? Oh, yes, just about. Okay, so now we're going to do some cutting. We're just going to take off the outer big panel and half of the next panel in all 4 corners. So I'm going to cut along first and cut to the second score line, but then I cut this panel here in half so that I can make a little tab like that. Okay, so we're going to do the same in all 4 corners. Cut along the line to the second score line, then cut the tab in half, roughly in half, it doesn't matter if it's, try that again, there's better. And then just cut off 2 little V's to make a tab like that. Same over this corner. and finally in this corner. My tabs aren't very even. That doesn't matter, as long as there's enough tab to actually stick them all together, that's fine. It's getting very dark here. I hope the video's got enough light on it. Just get rid of those bits. There we go. So one more little score to do, and now you're going to need a ruler. We want the inch side actually, not centimetres for this. This panel is 3 inches wide, and you want to make a little mark just with a pencil or a pen at the 1.5 inch mark. So halfway along here, you want to make a little mark. So same on the bottom piece, halfway along at the 1.5. And then get your stylus and your silicone mat. If you're working on a glass mat like me, it's very difficult to score on a glass mat and get it to actually work. And then we're going to use the ruler to put between this corner and this mark that we've just made, okay? And we're going to score along there. Turn it round and do the same from the opposite side. And then again on the other end, the same thing. So we're just scoring from each of these corners where we've cut to the mark that you've just made at 1.5 inches, okay? So it really works to have a mat underneath, or some form of soft something that you can press into. So there is our piece scored and marked, and that's all the score lines. So now we need to fold it. So these two bottom pieces come up. So we fold those up first. Then the sides go in, making sure that it's straight every time. And then the second fold goes outwards. Same on this side, in with the first fold. Sorry about the noise in the background. And out with the second. Oops, out with the second. Okay, so there are my side folds. These have come in. So first of all, I'm going to just fold these up like that. And then this piece here, you want to fold it in so that the point points inwards and the two folds come outwards like that. So somebody is my daughter is just bringing our bin back, which is lovely, but making a noise, so I apologise for that. We do the same with this side, fold the tabs in. Oh, still got a bit cut on there. Fold the tabs in, then bring the point up so you can fold that fold back down again. Okay. Now, this is the only bit that I recommend you sort out before you actually start putting the actual box fold card together, and that is to stick in the centre panel, because it's just awkward once you put the card together to stick it in nicely. So stick in your centre panel first. And that goes in here like this. And you can also stick your, that's my messy side, so that's the one that goes down. And so you stick the back panel on the back piece as well. There we go. And then finally on here, my little stamped greeting here, my season's greeting, we're just going to stick that on in the middle. Now it is a tag, it has got a hole on. Not bothered about it, to be honest. It's not going to show too much, but it just shows through the box when it's open. So we want to just have that in the center there. Okay, so now we've put that bit on. The rest of the decoration we can do elsewhere. So now we're going to fold these in and put glue on this side of these tabs. So on the outside, if you like, of those tabs. We're going to do this on both ends. So I find if I hold it in, it makes me certain which bit I'm actually going to do. So I need to hold it in there. This is where you need 5 hands, but it's a little bit fiddly, this bit, but it does work. Hold those down and then fold over this side and press it down. Making sure it's sticking. And then we're going to do the same with the other side. Hold the tabs so they're down, fold the front of the card over and stick it down nicely. Just press down for a minute or two to make sure it's going to stick. And that is our book fold card. You can see mine hasn't finished sticking there, but we'll just hold it down another minute. You can see now why I suggested that you put the DSP in first, because otherwise putting it in there, you're putting it into a box and it's fiddly. So stick your DSP and your greeting in first. But the other panels, no problem, because we can stick them on now. So you could stick these on before you put the book fold together if you wanted, but it's easy enough to stick them on once the book fold is made, or the box fold. I don't know what to call it really. To me, it's a, I don't know. It is like a box. I suppose a box fold is a good description. We'll stick to that. Okay, so making sure my directional pattern is correct. I want it pointing upwards. So there is the card basically finished. My panels and my box fold there. So now to finish it off completely, we're going to use a belly band. And for this, I am going to use Stamp and Seal because it will hold it better. Now, I probably will need to just trim this down a bit, we'll see. So to make the belly band, I'm going to place the card face up in the middle of the band and then loosely, and this is the key, don't try and fold it closely. You want it to be quite loose. So I'm going to just fold it over like that, making sure it's straight. And then the other side, I'm just going to move this over just a fraction. No, the other way. So I'm giving myself, where I put the crease there, can you see I've just moved it over just a fraction before I fold this bit in. And that then means that my belly band is not going to be too tight. And I said I'd probably need to chop a little bit off here, so I do chop about 1 centimetre off. There we go, because it should be 25 and I think I measured that at 26. And 25 just goes round nicely. And then I'm going to use my Stamp and Seal to stick it together. If I can get it to work, there we go. It just holds it better than the liquid glue. So again, making sure it's nice and straight, stick that together. There we go, so it holds it. And then finally, just to put the tag on top, again, I'm going to use some Stamp and Seal. Just across the middle of the card, and then stick my tag on at a nice angle. Don't see why it should be straight. I don't like it straight. And there we have the card. And that one, yes, the belly band is a bit looser on that one, comes off easily. There is my card that I can put a gift card or a gift token or some money in. And there we have it. So I hope you like that card. I think it's a really lovely fold. I've not seen this one before. Thank you very much to Tami White for the idea. I've made it just about how she made it because it is such a beautiful card. And of course I'd already stamped my envelope too. So there we have it. Our fun book fold, box fold card. Why do I keep saying book? Box fold card, which is just lovely to go to somebody this Christmas. I hope you like that one. All of the measurements and all of the in both inches and centimetres will be on the blog at craftycarolscards.co.uk. The link is below below this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please do sign up for my emails when you go to my website because I'd love to keep in touch with you. Thanks for joining me today and I will see you soon. Bye for now.